Welcome back to Jalen and Jacoby. Jalen Rose. Brandon Ingram has been playing well all season long, but never better than last night. The former Laker had 49 points. 49 points in a big win for the Pelicans in overtime against the Jazz. Jalen, how has Brandon Ingram been able to completely take off this season?
So he's doing one thing that you hear me allude to with Kristaps Porzingis that he does not do. Because of his slight frame, initially he wasn't playing through contact. Now he is. And if you notice, when he turned the corner and go down the lane, it ain't to try to finger roll it or to look for the foul. He'll go in there and dunk it on you.
Yeah.
You see the reverse dunk he got against Rudy Gobert?
That was crazy.
That's the improvement. That right there is the improvement. He can shoot the three. He can play mid-range and play on the post. But now he done unlocked his entire offensive arsenal because he's playing from every phase, including at the rim and above the rim, which was awesome to watch.
Jalen, simple question. Has Brandon Ingram played himself into an all-star spot in a packed Western Conference?
I think it's going to depend on the team's record and their standing as it relates to the playoff seeding. I don't think that he'll be an all-star if they're lower than a 6 seed.
Yeah, I mean, I think they will be lower than a 6 seed. They have won 4 of their last 5 games, but they're still sort of within arm's distance of maybe trying to get into the 8th spot. Do you think they could potentially be a playoff team even after their slow start?
I think they had a potential. I got a couple of bets out there I'm trying to win with Greeny and Jay Will that they weren't. But that's when the team looked a lot different, and we thought that Zion was going to emerge as their go-to guy. Now that's become Brandon Ingram. And I'm going to make sure I say this because it's really important. Because we live in a society that sometimes is what have you done for me lately? Zion Williamson is about to put on a physical specimen show when he returns. He about to be out here dunking on people so hard and backwards and reverses, catching lobs. Like, I can't wait till Zion get back.
I can't wait either. And you know one thing I always say is that people don't celebrate enough. I celebrate just because it's the end of the week tonight. But we also have the Pelicans flying. Check out their post-game celebration after they beat the Jazz at home in overtime. They went a little overboard. Do you think this is too much of a celebration for a regular season game in January? Or are you here for it?
Not at all, because it's all about momentum in this league. So you 4 games back at the A spot. You know you're getting the guy back that I just talked about in Zion Williamson. The Orange Kurt product has shown Brandon Ingram take that leap that we want to see players take. Ball has been playing better as of late. Favors giving them good minutes up front. So now you start to feel better about your squad. So absolutely, when a guy like this scores his career high but doesn't say much, you want to shower him and give him love.
Jalen, time to give some love to Milwaukee Bucks because they are far and away the best team in the Eastern Conference, and they proved it last night when they hosted the Boston Celtics, who are in the 3rd place in the East. But there seems to be a big distance between these two teams. That man, the Greek Freak, had 32 points, 17 rebounds, and added 7 assists. Jalen, is there any team that's really a threat to the Bucks in the East?
I would like to say no, but when the game slows down in the playoffs, the Bucks have one dominant reigning MVP in the Greek Freak that has improved his shot and has a great chance to continue to break all types of 30, 15, and 5 records. They also have both Lopez brothers, in particular Brook, who's shown me throughout his career recently over the past few years that he can knock down the 3 and post up against smaller players. Ilyasova give him good minutes. Yep. Matthews gives them good minutes. But the difference is when they go against teams that have more than one big physical body, looking at you, Philly, with Embiid and Horford, the size and the bulk of Simmons, sometimes on possessions against the Greek Freak, even Tobias Harris, that team can be an issue. Otherwise, I don't think the Celtics have enough size. We got to see what happens with Indiana when Oladipo gets back. I think they have too many shooters for the Heat. And so that to me, to your question, gives them a leg up. But I got to see what happens with Toronto as well with Pascal. I think they one more player away. So yes, the Bucks should be the team that represents the Eastern Conference, but those guys up front gonna need the ball.
So, Jalen, when we talk about the Nuggets, we always talk about the Nuggets' depth. And last night was a really good example of that when they played the Warriors. Will Barton, we always talk about the stretch mark 5, Nikola Jokic, but Will Barton had 31 points. Malik Beasley had 27 points. We always talk about their depth, but, when you get injuries and you have to have people step up, they did exactly that. What did you see from the Nuggets role players last night that you liked?
So when I'm watching the Houston Rockets, I try to figure, do they have some of them? They probably had the most dynamic guards in the game. Obviously, you got Russ, you got Harden, you got Eric Gordon. And then Boston, they have dynamic multiple guards. You got Kemba, you got Smart, and you got – but when I watch the Nuggets play, it's the wing position, like you just said, that's like, man, are they the deepest group in the game at that position? Will Barton and Beasley. You didn't mention Craig. What about Grant? What about Millsap? What about Michael Porter Jr.? Like they have so many of those. Yes. And so they have so many of those guys that you can sustain the injury to Murray because they built out that level of productive depth.
They do have the depth, and we'll keep an eye on that. But one thing that I wanted to point out is DeAndre Ayton. He's certainly been outshined by Luka Doncic and Trae Young statistically, but he's starting to come around. He had 26 points and 21 rebounds last night in Madison Square Garden. Does it count that it was against the Knicks?
Oh, it definitely counts because Mitchell Robinson hustles and blocks shots and tries to give effort defensively. Everybody else that they were trying to put on what didn't have the height or the bulk to really contend with him consistently. And anytime you suspend it for as long as he was, same with the Collins for the Hawks, your teammates expecting you to make an impact when you come back. And yes, it does mean something, even though it's against the Knicks.
Jalen, we have picked a new player in college basketball that we're going to give you consistent updates on. We will tell you who that is. But first, we have some very important news.
The battle of the James. Not really, I made that up. LeBron James and James Harden, both players set the tone for their team to win. But guess what? They've teamed up with other power players, such as AD for Bron and Westbrook for Harden. And guess what? That's also changed the landscape in the West. So when the teams meet for the very first time this season, that is tomorrow night, AD should play. We do not know. We'll be watching. But you could be seeing a preview of the postseason. So let's explore the numbers between the dynamic duos of LeBron and AD with the Lakers and Harden and Westbrook of the Rockets. Our Tim Legler breaks it down.
Both the Lakers and Rockets rely heavily on their dynamic duos.
He knows Westbrook. Westbrook knows Harden.
I think that him and LeBron James are the best duo in basketball.
LeBron James and Anthony Davis are on pace to become just the second set of Lakers teammates since the merger to each average 25 points, joining Kobe Bryant and Shaquille O'Neal, who accomplished the feat 3 times. James Harden and Russell Westbrook have combined to average 62 points, on pace to reach a mark no other pair of teammates has touched in over 50 seasons. But how these duos get their points is quite different.
James Harden in the clutch!
And Russell Westbrook really starting to feel it now. James lobs it up, and Davis throws it down.
LeBron has assisted to Davis 113 times, by far the most of any passer-scorer combo. They've excelled at the pick and roll, becoming the most efficient duo in pulling off that particular play.
Oh, Russell Westbrook! Oh, Harden!
Conversely, James Harden and Russell Westbrook often work independently of each other, ranking first and second in points created off isolations per game. They have combined for 590 unassisted field goals, the most of any pair of teammates. But there are often pitfalls to any strong duo. Perhaps missing his fellow superstar, when Davis is on the court without LeBron, the Lakers have struggled, recording a net efficiency that would rank in the bottom 6 in the NBA. Harden and Westbrook have each, at times, been unable to hold on to the basketball, They are on pace to become the first set of teammates